I started this module with some overall best practices and said that they're not strict rules. You need to think about how you apply them to your situation, and actually we can abstract all those practices into 3 basic principles. Make your extensions easy to discover, make them hard to use by mistake, and make them resilient to breaking in the future. Extension methods which you use internally in your organization are mostly about saving time and implementing standard approaches, so this is probably the right priority order for those principles too. The more use you get out of your extension methods, the more valuable they are. Lots of organizations have extension methods scattered across projects, which are useful time savers or which go to enforce the preferred way of doing things. Some organizations go to the next stage and put those extension methods into shared libraries. Those could be project-specific libraries. Several components of an application might need the same type of logic, so it makes sense to isolate that in an extension methods assembly. Larger organizations might go even further and put logic which gets shared between projects in a set of global extension method assemblies. This looks attractive, but it can be hard to manage. It works best if you have your own internal NuGet server and established communication channels between teams, so it's easy for developers to find and reference the assemblies, and easy for extension method authors to broadcast any updates and fixes. So your extension methods could be separate projects in the solution for one application, or private NuGet packages that get used in several applications. The best practices for organizing the code are the same. You should group extension methods into different assemblies where each assembly has a defined scope. That helps to ensure that extensions aren't used by mistake, because consumers need to add references to each specific assembly rather than a global extension method library. And it limits dependencies, so consumers don't need to take on more references than they need. It helps discovery too, because all the extensions to Entity Framework types are in the Entity Framework extension library, and everything to do with MVC is in the MVC extension library. Now, because you're already narrowing down usage to specific projects, it's probably safe to adopt the namespace of the target type for your private extensions, so consumers don't need to explicitly bring them into scope with separate using statements. You still need to target the most specific types that you can though, and in the next demo we'll see how all this looks for internal extension method libraries.